Hey guys, this is a quick video response to Kit171's question or video that he made I think like a week ago maybe, asking what are our top three favorite platformers. Excellent question. Platformers are one of my favorite genres in gaming, so I thought I made a response. So I'm gonna start with my third choice, and surprisingly is a modern game. And by the way, I'm going to concentrate in the so-called 2D side-scrolling platformers, because in my opinion platformers, the pure essence of the genre, it's on the side-scrolling ones. So surprisingly the first choice is a modern platformer, and that game is Rayman Origins. I have the PlayStation 3 version of the game. I was able to beat the game 100%. I got all the trophies, I beat every level, I did all the speed runs. This is a fantastic game, one of the best looking games of this generation. Incredible art direction, beautiful 1080p, high definition, graphics, very crisp, very detailed. The characters are very likable. The level design is surprisingly well. I was actually blown away by how good the levels are, and once you get to know the levels, you do your speed runs, you can seemingly flow through the level. You don't have to stop at any given point. Once you know the timing on how to beat a level, you can just run through a level, and it's very rewarding. And this is one of the games that I decided to go 100% for it. And after I completed this, it was one of the most satisfying and rewarding feelings that I ever had, because in order to get all the trophies in this game, you really have to master the game. You have to know every nook and cranny of every level. And when you do your speed runs, the time limits are very strict. So if you beat this game 100%, it's a very, very rewarding experience. And perhaps the one thing that I like the most about this game is that I get really frustrated whenever I die a lot in a particular part of a platforming game. But in this game, this game had something that made me go back to it and retry. Whenever I died, I just wanted to keep playing more and more until I beat whatever area of the game was giving me problems. So I like the game so much that in fact I got the Vita version of the game. So the definite version is the ones for the HD consoles, but for a portable experience, the Vita version is pretty fun, and highly recommended if you have a PlayStation Vita. For my second choice, I'm gonna pick a game that I don't have with me right now. It's in my parents' house, but that game will be Donkey Kong Country, the first one in the series for the Super Nintendo. It was released in 1994, and I remember when I first saw footage of the game, or I think I actually first saw some pictures in a gaming magazine back in the day. I don't think I was ever blown away as much by when I first saw screenshots of the game, because at the time it was such a huge jump in terms of graphical quality that it really left me completely floored. The hype went through the roof, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty much sold on the graphics by itself, because it was such a huge leap from previous Super Nintendo, or any games for that matter at the time. I believe at the time, I think the Jaguar was already out, and some other CD based obscure consoles were out, but Donkey Kong Country blew everything away. So the graphics got me into the hype for the game, but as it turns out, the game was actually not only a graphical powerhouse, but it was also a very good, solid platformer, game. And the graphics were great. The soundtrack was just simply amazing. David Wise at Rareware, he's a great composer. He will always be remembered for his work at composing the songs for the game. And the level design was great. Similarly to Rayman Origins, but in a more primitive way. The game had a very nice flow that once you knew the stages, You could just run through them, and it was very rewarding. Using Diddy Kong and doing the cartwheel, and just cartwheeling 3 enemies in a row and then make a jump, and it was just very fun and rewarding. And also the game has a lot of secret areas, a lot of different things to keep the game fresh. For example, the cart levels in the mines, or the bonus levels that you can play with the little animals that you collected coins, like the rhino and the bird, and the frog, and all them animals in the game. But it was a very fresh game, very very impressive for the time. So it's my favorite in the series. I know the second one, Diddy's Kong Quest, I believe it's called. It's technically superior in every way. The graphics are better, the soundtrack is better, the level design is more varied. But still, I think the original one has like a special spot in my heart, just because it was such a revolutionary game when it came out. So I'm gonna stick to the original one as my top choice. And for my number one platforming game of all time, this is no secret, is Super Mario World. I only have the Game Boy Advance copy of the game because, like I said, all of my Super Nintendo games are at my parents' house. But when I got my Super Nintendo, Super Mario World was the game that came packed with the system. And in my opinion, platforming, it will never get any better than Super Mario World. That game nails level design, it nails a good art direction that is just charming, and it's very colorful, and the overworld map just gave a good introduction to the game and what to expect from the levels you were about to play. Not to mention, the game was, it was easy enough for you to complete the game. But if you were a completionist and you really wanted to unlock all the levels and all the secrets, there were so many levels with very clever design in terms of hiding, the secret exits, and finding all the Yoshi coins in each level was also pretty challenging. So it's just a magical experience, and in my opinion, 2D platforming, it will be very, very hard to beat. Because Super Mario World is just one of those games that had everything going for it. It was released at the right time, with the right hardware, the Super Nintendo, and nowadays the game has a very charming look, very colorful, that it's going to be hard to duplicate. And just the simplicity in the level design, the addition of Yoshi was great in my opinion. Also, the power-ups in the game are very balanced and very, very appropriate for the game. You got the fire flower, which is a classic, but you also have the your wing or your cape to fly. Made it for a very interesting type of gameplay mechanic, because some of the levels you could fly through them, some of them you couldn't, and so forth. So Super Mario World is my number one choice. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.